I'm going to be sharing what I learned in my 9th and 10th month blogging, why I chose to take a break from the blog, how I'm working on my personal brand, and a couple lessons that I learned along the way. So I'll start with sharing what happened in my 9th month blogging, which was the month of October for me. Really, real quick, to not spend too much time on this, I published one post. I was still trying to get transitioned into living in the Bay Area with my parents where I moved back. I mentioned that in my previous video. I found a lot of opportunity working in San Francisco doing my freelance work that I'm typically used to doing in LA. So I spent a lot more time working, and it was difficult to find time to really dedicate to the blog. Still have to pay bills and stuff, so can't ignore life. But I thought it was pretty much the perfect time to put a pause on the blog and focus solely 100% on creating content for my personal brand going forward. And this brings us to the month of November for me, which was my 10th month blogging, which is where all the magic started happening. So I essentially decided to put a pause on the blog during this time because the blog's not where I would like it to be right now, and that's okay. It's a slow progress for me that I have come to accept. But since I am not writing consistently for the blog just yet, because I am balancing learning and working and many other things, including shooting these YouTube videos, I thought it would be a great time to start focusing on what strategy I would like to do for my personal brand, then starting to create that content, editing it, and just getting it scheduled out ahead of time. The reason why I chose to do this is because in the long term, I don't want to take time away from the focus that I could be putting my energy and efforts towards the blog. I don't want daily posts on Instagram to distract me from that. So if I schedule it out ahead of time, essentially a content calendar or an editorial calendar for my personal brand, in a lot of ways it will be automated and allow me the free time to really focus on the blog while that can essentially run simultaneously on its own. How many times did I say essentially just now? My battery's at 29%, guys. I'm a little pressured. I need to get this video done. I am working on the personal brand, not the blog. Okay, this brings me to the first lesson that I learned during this month, which is just do it even though you think you suck. This was huge for me, guys. This was so huge. I am such a big picture person. I do not pay attention to the little details. I just think of the overall outcome of things and how grand they could be and all of the possibilities that could come along with it and the different ways that things can result in from different paths and different decisions. I don't really spend too much time thinking about the small stuff, which can run me into a lot of trouble, which it has. With my personal brand, I had to make major decisions of, on Instagram, how would I communicate? What's my tone? What are my brand colors? What's the overall aesthetic that I'm going to choose? What's too sexy for Instagram? What's too clean for Instagram? What text would I use to embody the message that I'm trying to send? I don't think about these things, guys. I think this comes a lot easier for some people, but for me, probably for some influencers, that's probably why they're so good at it. For me, I am doing this from a purely business perspective and also a challenge for myself. I just think it would be great for the opportunities that this can bring me down the line. I'm not really concerned about the creative aspect of it, but I had to tap into that in order to do what I needed to do. And this is a weakness for me, so I was really scared. I'm still really scared. None of this has even gone live yet, and it won't go live until January. but I'm learning and growing every day. And the important takeaway from this is when you do it scared, you just get increments of confidence every single time you take a step in a direction that you're scared and do anyway. The best example I could give you guys that you can actually see is if you actually look back to my first video that I shot 8 months ago from my, or according to YouTube, my first month blogging. Okay, the video quality on that wasn't the best, but I think that it's grown even from my last video just tremendously. It's not perfect. I'm still shooting with a smartphone, but I've learned things about lighting and editing and just sound quality, and I continue to learn every single month. And that has happened in a short amount of time. It's only my 9th video that I'm doing now, so, or whatever video this is. This is my 10th month blogging video, and I just feel like I've learned so much. Once I told myself, like, let's just make a decision, let's just figure it out, the more I started to feel comfortable in just doing. And I hope that you guys find that with yourself. If you're just scared, you just gotta do it. Whether that's writing blog posts or choosing a different strategy to promote your pins on Pinterest, creating video pins, that's gonna be a big thing, guys. I'm not quite there yet. I definitely want to learn, but that's scary too, right? Because not everybody makes video pins just yet, other than big brands. If you're scared, just do it. You're going to get more confidence at it as you keep going along. The second thing I want to share with you guys during this time that I've learned is don't underestimate the value of the learning process. So I spent a lot of this time really scrolling through Instagram. I felt like I was wasting a ton of time because I was looking at fashion bloggers and digital marketers and money bloggers. I wanted to see how they promoted their personal brand so I could figure out where did I fit in all of this. But was I earning any money during that time, or did it seem like I was doing anything productive? Not from the outside looking in. And even on the inside, feeling like, should I really be wasting this much time on Instagram? No, but it really did help me. And I think that can apply to anyone when it comes to blogging. There's a huge learning curve that you have to endure, whether that's SEO or creating a Pinterest strategy, just finding ways to promote your blog. There's just endless to-do lists. And you're not going to learn it all in one day, but it still needs to be done. So don't disqualify the time that you take to enrich yourself and to grow, because it's going to help you in the end. The learning process is truly invaluable. Don't disqualify that time by any means. Listen to audiobooks, watch how-tos, like listen to podcasts. And even though you don't feel like you're quite working, you could be working on your mindset, or you could be learning a new tactic. Just because you're not putting that in place and doing an action and having a result come out of it doesn't mean you're not working. So next time you feel like you're being lazy because you're reading or you're listening to an audiobook, or you feel like you could be doing more, sometimes it's okay to just take the time and learn and feel good about it. The third thing I've learned during this time is to shift your perspective from short-term success to long-term success. So during this time, it is currently December 2019. It is the wrap-up of a decade. Everybody on the internet is talking about how much they've grown in the past 10 years. And as I reflect on how much I've grown in the past 10 years, I realized it's inevitable. The growth is inevitable. And you can use that perspective when looking at your growth in your business or in your career or in your blogging journey. I think that a lot of bloggers, as I've mentioned before, there's just this sort of like pressure that kind of happens when things don't quite go your way and you experience setbacks and you feel like you're not quite successful yet. This happens all the time. maybe you feel like you haven't made X amount of dollars that you expected to make by this time. Maybe you haven't gotten your page views where you'd like them to be. Maybe you haven't qualified for Mediavine yet because you haven't gotten your much traffic driven to your page. Maybe you feel like you don't have enough email subscribers according to the goals that you set for yourself. Goal setting is amazing. Everybody should be doing it. I should be doing it. We should all be doing it. However, it could be a little detrimental if you weigh your self-confidence based on whether or not you've met those goals. If we think about just what's going to happen in the next 3 months, the next 6 months, the next year, I want to make X amount of dollars by next year, I want to double my income by this time, and it doesn't happen, it's discouraging and you feel like you've fallen short. But if you don't think about it in such short terms and think about if you were to blog for the next 10 years of your life, you're inevitably going to be good at it. It doesn't matter if you had a bad day. It doesn't matter if you had a bad couple months. Even if you had a whole bad year and you refused to give up and you refused to stop learning and you kept growing, it's going to happen no matter what. You'll be an expert in 10 years as long as you don't quit. And I hope that you find encouraging. I'm not sure if that resonates with you guys, but it certainly resonated with me. And if you can use this perspective as we all reflect on all the growth that we've had in the past 10 years of our life, if you just apply that to you and your blogging journey, I guarantee you're going to feel much better about it. We're all going to be successful as long as we don't give up. And that is the last thing I wanted to share with you guys during this 9th and 10th month blogging update. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this content, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time.